Today on Paranormal Insights, we're going to talk with Javier Sandoval
about UFOs and the upcoming UFO Conference.
I'm Joseph Ernest Martin.
I'm Lynne Gibson.
And this is Paranormal Insights, where we bring you the latest and best from the metaphysical world.
Here you'll get real tools and insights to your questions as we bring you answers from beyond the ordinary.
Now, Angela is an intuitive medium and metaphysical educator. She is the host of Transpersonal Radio, exploring parapsychology, spirituality, and how our thoughts upload our reality.
And Joseph is an award-winning psychic of over 25 years and is the author of the international bestseller, The Quest Tarot, and recipient of the Visionary Award of Excellence.
And we have a very special show for you today. Javier Sandoval is a UFO contactee and experiencer, and he has been involved in the UFO community for over 10 years.
Javier has military-grade night vision equipment that has allowed him to show people UFOs that otherwise would not be visible to them.
Now, Javier started going to the UFO conferences several years ago and is now a co-producer of the California UFOCon Experiencers Conference.
Javier, we are so excited to have you on the show with us today. And there's a lot going on in the UFO community right now, so this is a really appropriate time to share all this great information with our viewers. Let's talk a little bit about your time slips, your missing time, and what that has meant for you. But before you do that, before you start, for those out there that might not know what missing time and time slips means, can you tell us a little bit about that and then how that has affected you personally?
Well, I believe missing time was when you're doing something and all of a sudden, say it's 10 o'clock at night and all of a sudden, boom, the time just disappeared. It's already 7 in the morning and you don't understand what happened between 10 o'clock at night and 7 in the morning. That's called missing time. And when you have missing time, it's because something has happened, and when I had my experience, there was actually 3 of us and we were singing karaoke. We're not very good at singing, but we're working on it. But all 3 of us was there, and all of a sudden, we had this, the screen went to blue, and all of a sudden there was a figure on the screen. And after that, that's all we could remember. And then next thing you know, it was 7 in the morning. And then a couple of days later, when I was going up the hill, it was me and one of the guys that were singing went to the store. We're coming home, and we're going up this hill, and all of a sudden, we see this metallic flying saucer during the daytime, not at night. At nighttime, you always see lights and stuff like that, but that just confirmed what happened at home. So that's when I got interested in missing time and what happened to me. So I started going to the UFO conferences.
Mm-hmm. Now, of course, you had this experience where time just went away. Were there any physical things that you also noticed because of that missing time?
Yeah, I actually, what happens is a lot of times there's a blur, so that's what is confusing. That's why it's important to come to these UFO conferences for the viewers, because there's a lot of people out there that also had something similar to them, maybe a flash of light, or when they're a little kid, something beamed them from nowhere, and then you're saying, I remember that, but they don't talk about it because they're scared. It's something the unknown. But the good thing is not to be afraid. That's why we have these conferences, so everybody can come out and share their experiences, tell us what happened to them, just like what happened to me.
Now, how old were you when this happened? How long ago was this?
Well, this was, it was a little bit over 10 years ago when I had my experience. And so, there's really, I didn't even have anything to do with UFOs. If you would have told me, I would have laughed at you, until it happens to you. Then you say,
right.
Oh, what happened, Then you want to know. So what I started doing, I started trying to figure out some answers. I needed some validation or what happened to me. So that's what's good about going to these conferences. They give you a lot of insights that people can help you. They have therapists there, people that can understand what you're going through. Or sometimes we don't even want to talk about it because we don't want to waste our energy unless you know about it.
Right.
So
because this is the type of experience that if you actually have it, it's just really kind of hard to share with just the average person.
Correct.
Because they're going to go into fear, and they're going to want to explain it immediately. Like, were you drunk? Were you on drugs? Do you hallucinate? Are you on any medication? And those are great questions to eliminate, so that you can get to the heart of the experience. Now, in your experience, sometimes people will have things happen to their body. They'll notice a scoop mark or a marking on their body after missing time. Did you have any of those things happen?
Well, see, I don't see. I didn't know enough, so I never checked my bodies because I didn't know anything about the UFO. But one of the most important things is it's what you happen to you. It's really hard for people to believe it. So you always have to stay in truth. And if you ask me, did I see them? No, I didn't see them, but I felt the presence, and I felt that we were frozen in time. Somebody out there can probably relate to that, an experience where you felt you were frozen or you couldn't move. But I remember I was the only one able to sing. And I just looked at them, and all I can remember is they would just move their eyes. They just move their eyes, but they couldn't move. They're like frozen, and I was able to move. I don't know the reason why, but a lot of these strange phenomenal things happen to people.
Now, did this happen to your two friends that were with you? What was their recollection of this time period when this was happening to you?
They told me that they were frozen. They couldn't move. All they could do is they wanted to get up, and they couldn't get up. And all they remember is they could just move their eyes. They just rolled their eyes. That's the only thing they could move. And I don't know why I was able to move. That's what's kind of interesting about this UFO phenomenon. That how is it possible that I was able to move and they weren't? They said that they couldn't even talk either. So it's kind of interesting. So this really impacted all three of us.
Now, in Whitley Strieber's book and Communion, which was very famous, and they made a movie out of it, and you may have seen it yourself. He talks about that experience having been very scary, having been very traumatic, physical things happening. However, he relates that when he changed his mindset about the experience he was going to have, the experience completely changed. And it went from scary and invasive to informative and very safe. Now, it could be possible, do you think, that because maybe you didn't have as much fear as your friends, that then you weren't paralyzed because you weren't really as afraid, and therefore you were able to interact more?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of times we go into denial. You know, we fight something. You know, you violated me, and so what happened? You don't want to take it in, and sometimes things are blessings. Like me, my experience was actually pretty good. I don't have bad experiences, but there's those few out there that do have bad experiences. But this is what's good about coming to the conferences. It gives you balance. You try to balance the person because it's so traumatic what they felt. But mine, I don't really remember too many things because I really haven't gone through regression yet. So I'm interested to find out what happened to me, but I really have to find the right time. It's so personal that you have to find the right time when you're ready.
That makes a lot of sense because it's a very personal situation, and it can be considered quite invasive. It can be considered a violation, like you said, you felt violated, because it's something taking control of your life, your time, your body, your mind. So I can see how that would be really disconcerting for a lot of people. Now, this event that you experienced was something that completely kicked off your interest in UFOs, where you had none before, or like you said, you would laugh at people that were talking about UFOs. So this event that you experienced about 10 years ago is an event that, rightfully so, started you on a new path of UFO research. So let's talk a little bit about what were your first steps into the foray of researching UFOs, when before, as you said, admittedly, you were a skeptic and would laugh at anyone talking about UFOs. But now you're on this path. I had this experience. I need to make sense of what happened to me. How did you start stepping into that arena?
Well, I believe a lot of times when you have the experience, it's so overwhelming. Your experience is so traumatic and so personal that it's really affects your whole being. And a lot of times we have a hard time talking about it with anybody. It's so personal, and it's embedded in you, and it's really something, a passion inside of you. But we don't really express it to anybody because we feel nobody will understand us. You know, a lot of viewers probably feel the same way. That's why it's very important for you to come out to these conferences, support the conferences, and let it out. Because once you're able to talk about it, you feel free. It's like you having baggage on you, and you finally take it off. Say, "Wow, I'm free." You know, I'm not the only one like that. I'm not the only one that had that traumatic experience. That's why we try to help people and give them balance. You know, and I think that's what I found it. And a lot of people have a hard time finding that balance. Absolutely.
So what I'm really curious about is, when you had this event, when it occurred to you, you did not actually see the alien beings at that time, but in your 10-year sense, you have witnessed craft. Have you seen any alien or extraterrestrial beings, or has it mostly been the flying crafts or the UFO crafts?
Well, in the time that I've experienced, I've seen a lot of strange phenomenal things. But I have seen crafts. But like I always say, you always have to stay in truth. When you talk about the stuff, you don't add anything to it. Just say what you felt and what you've seen. And that's what I've always done. I've always stayed in truth. So I've never seen an alien saying, "Oh, they look like that," but I felt an invisible presence. I felt like when you have an aura, or you feel that something there, or you feel like your angels are watching you. I feel something like that. I feel something very special. And after my experience, I got a lot of benefits from my experience. Some people don't have that kind of luck, but I was very lucky. So, but I'm able to help other people with what's happened to them. So, that's what's going on with me.
And you've helped in a number of ways, because you have this special military night vision equipment, and you've brought people together to see if you can see UFOs. Now Stephen Greer has done UFO calling parties, right?
Yeah.
Where they call a UFO to appear. And the producer of his movie was there for one of the events and was blown away. Now, have you found that when you pull people together to use this equipment, this night vision equipment, that they show up for you?
Well, I feel that it's a meditation where you actually meditate, and you do a little bit of meditation. A lot of times, what you try to do is you telepathically try to communicate with them that we're here. We want them to show themselves so we can understand it. And what's good about night vision, people that have never seen anything, all of a sudden they finally see the ship for the first time. They're like little kids. They get so excited. Oh, I seen one, because they've never seen it. So they say, if I don't see it, I don't believe it. See, a lot of people are like that. They're skeptical until I've seen a lot of people that were skeptical, and then when they see it, when I showed them night vision and they see them, see, we're not alone. And all of a sudden, you just changed my life, because now they were so close, but they were still open to come. But then when they got to see one, it changes you. Now you know that we're really not alone.
So Javier, there's an upcoming conference in Sacramento, a UFO conference that's going to be in Sacramento on the 24th and 25th of this month. And my question to you is, let's say someone is going to be going to this event for the first time and they don't really know a lot about UFOs, and maybe they don't know if they believe in it or not, they're on the fence. For them to get the most out of the conference, what are some of the things they should do and see there?
Well, a lot of times there's going to be talks about, about the UFO, plus we're going to have something different that a lot of conferences don't do. We're going to have 3 experiencers for people that are breaking into it, so they can go, like if you're beginning to understand about UFO and you want a little bit, there's that experience for you guys. People that have more of a intense experience, there's another group for that, and then there's another group for the ones that are in contact with them, or they're talking to them telepathically. So we're breaking it down, because what does have like some of them say, oh, I had sex with an alien. What does that have to do with when you see a light in the sky? You know what I mean? They're so far apart, and you don't want to put these people like, wow, this is really crazy. I just seen a UFO, and this one's having sex with them. So it doesn't make any sense. So we're trying to break it down into three workshops, so people can when you're just breaking into that, you can understand what's going on.
And you have speakers at this event who are going to be presenting on different topics. Who are some of the speakers?
Okay, there's some fantastic speakers. We got Barbara Lamb. We got we have Reuben McDonald. We have Ruben Ariarte. We have another guy named Victor Camacho. That this you go to a lot of UFO conferences, but this is one of the ones where they have artifacts, where they're bringing in a lot of unique stuff, so people can actually feel, touch, it's tangible. Or well, a lot of people say, "Show me proof." Well, this guy's a researcher, and he's found some interesting things, and he's bringing them to the conference to share with all the people that want to see something or they want to touch something, and it kind of blows your mind of what you're going to see, what he has.
Now, of course, Reuben has been on the History Channel on many times for UFO shows, and done a great job. He's a wonderful author. He's a great researcher. For people who don't know, like Lamb or McDonald, can you tell us a little bit about him?
Oh, about Reuben?
Not Reuben, but like Lamb or McDonald.
Okay. Barbara, she's been a therapist. She's a licensed therapist. She's been doing regressions. She's a wonderful lady. I know her personally. She's got a big heart, wonderful human being. So she does that. Also, Reuben McDonald does the same thing. She's a licensed therapist, so there are people there that can talk to you. Or if you want to talk about UFOs, you got Reuben, where he's a field investigator. Also, he works for MUFON. He's been doing this, and he also is an author, book writer, great human being. And then we also have Gladys. What we're going to have is something different. We're having singing bowls, so people can spend an hour. With all the information that you're going to get from the UFO conference, it's kind of nice to digest the information. So we give you an hour of meditation with singing bowls, so your body can just kind of relax and you feel all the energy coming in, and you can retain all the information. So we have Gladys Camacho that's doing this singing bowls, and it's a workshop. So it's going to be really nice. And then we have also a couple more speakers. We got Sherry Wilder, where she's a contactee experiencer, also an author. And then we also have George Noory that's coming in. He's going to be Skyping. And then we also have Jose Escamilla that did the research on the moon. Remember where the NASA was hiding all the information from us about all these little buildings on the moon.
And we should say that, of course, George Noory is from AM Coast to Coast, which is a national radio show. And Jose is a filmmaker, has done some wonderful films. And some of you may know him from his films about rods, because he did a lot of work on that. And he's been on TV also. So there's some really great people who are coming to this thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people that have a lot of experience in the field. So they would be able to, with this shared experience, there's a wealth of knowledge and information here about UFOs, the UFO community experiences. One of the questions I also have, since you run in these circles, there is talk about there being actual alien species on the planet right now commingling with us regularly. Have you heard anything about that or have any information about that?
Well, we have also one of the speakers is Cynthia Crawford, where she does sculptures, and she's also has a really unique story where she's a hybrid. So we talk about hybrids and interesting things, and she's an amazing person, and it's an amazing story. If you just listen to her story, if you go to UFOCon, UFOCon 2015 on the internet, you'll find all the bios on everybody that's going to be talking there, and it's going to be really interesting. Her story that she's another speaker, so she's going to be great.
Okay, wonderful.
Now, for someone who is coming to this show, which, by the way, it's going to be 2 fantastic days, end of this month in Sacramento, California, and they are going to be having the chance to start at any level they want to kind of get involved or just listen to the speakers and get that information. I have to say, and I think you're going to agree with me, having been to UFO conferences for many years now, I find this community so tolerant, open, loving, compassionate, embracing. If you've had an experience and you're really not sure what to do with it, or you just kind of worry you're going to be made fun of, even if you go to the UFO conference, you don't want to tell anybody, but you want to show up, I have to tell you that you can't go wrong. Now, this conference is coming up this month, October 24th and 25th. Saturday, Sunday. Saturday and Sunday. That's going to be at the Crown Plaza in Sacramento. And, it's going to start 8 o'clock. Registration's at 8 o'clock. So it's going to be Saturday and Sunday. And we're going to have also, it's going to be Latin Saturday. We're also doing a special event where mostly they're all in English, but the 2 days are all in English. But there's one day that we have another room, especially for the Latin people. So that's going to be all in Spanish. So we have a little bit of a variety. Now, is that because there's been so many more, it appears to be, UFO sightings in Mexico and the Latin community? Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of sightings, and not only that, but we start finding that there's a lot of Hispanic investigators with a lot of information, and also they're finding things. And so what we're trying to do is bring that proof to us, so people can see what they have or what they discovered. And that opens the consciousness of everybody, where if you're not a believer or you're a believer, it does really opens up your mind and say, wow, how do you explain that? Mm-hmm.
Do you have a little bit of an example of something that might be one of these artifacts or pieces of proof?
That's a good question. Well, Victor Camacho has not just one thing, several things that he's going to present, and I told him to bring it so people can be blown away. So this is going to be really exciting.
Oh, that
you
is
usually
exciting.
go to UFO conference and you don't see anything. This one, I guarantee you're going to see something, and I guarantee it's going to blow your mind.
And you know, there's something to consider here too, just saying, with the proliferation of cell phones, you know that everyone has these like 20 megapixel cameras that are in their cell phones. And so there are so many UFOs being captured by regular people because millions and millions of people have cameras in their hand, on their body at every second. Do you find that this additional evidence really is very not only reassuring but helpful for the people that come to this show?
Well, yeah. See, a lot of people come in with, and that's another thing that I want to share with everybody, because a lot of times, if you have something, bring it in. We're willing to take a look at it. We have researchers there. We have investigators. And if you have proof, or you feel like something happened to you, or you can't explain it, come on down. We're there with open arms, and and the UFO community we're all great human beings. We all try to help each other. It's like a family, you know what I mean? When you come in, nobody ridicules you, everybody talks to you, and you'll find that you've been to a lot of those conferences yourself, Joseph, and you know that everybody is so loving, and you're like family. When you go there, you feel like you found your family. That's the way the UFO community is.
Fantastic. So when you are, will you be speaking and presenting there? Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm basically behind the scenes there. Okay. I just low profile. I'm kind of shy. So.
Oh, okay. Well, you wouldn't have known it from today.
So actually, this is my first interview, and I really appreciate that. I really thank both of you, but I really never told anybody, because a lot of us keep it a secret. We don't show what happened to us, but now it's the time. It's like I'm coming out now, and I'm doing a conference, and now I tell people what happened to me, and it's very interesting. A lot of people keep it a secret, but when you go to these conferences, you feel free. You freed yourself from something that you've wanted to know for such a long time.
Yes, and since this is the UFOCon Experiencers Conference, you need to know that if you have had an experience and you do feel a little weird about it, this is in a completely safe place. If you want to be anonymous, you can be anonymous. And whatever you need, whatever level of experience you want to have here, you can have yourself not only validated, but maybe find out what's really going on. One thing I like about these conferences is how many people that go that have a scientific mind, who have PhDs, who have degrees, and who are open to even the idea that, hey, maybe what I saw wasn't what I thought I saw, but they just want to know one way or another what that experience was and how that compares to other people. And this is such a place for that to happen. Now the website is UFOCon2015.com.
Yeah, you can go to UFOCon 2015 or California, CA, UFOCon 2015, and either one will get you there. And something important you said, a lot of us go there for validation. We want to validate what happened to us, or just want to know the truth. You know what I mean? I think everybody's entitled to know what's out there and to know the truth. As long as you stay in truth, you're good.
Well, Javier, it was an honor having you on the show today. It was so fun speaking with you about UFOs and the upcoming conference. Just really appreciate your time today.
Well, thank you for having me, and I know a lot of the listeners out there want to know about UFOs and or their experiences. But don't feel you don't have to be afraid. And if you want to be anonymous, you can be anonymous. But it's a good place to go to get information. And what we're trying to do is we're just trying to open the consciousness of everybody and have better understanding about the unknown.
So this show is such a great show. It's such an important show. And it's here in California, Sacramento, California, October 24th and 25th, which is Saturday, Sunday, at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Sacramento. And it's going to be a wonderful show. It's a wonderful venue. And if you've had any interest in UFOs, if you've had an experience yourself, or if you're just curious about what's going on with all these UFO things we keep hearing about, you're going to find these answers, camaraderie, empathy, validation, all here at the show, plus amazing pictures and even some real UFO evidence you can see firsthand. This is one show I got to tell you, you just don't want to miss. And that information is, of course, you've seen it at the bottom of the screen, but will also be completely included in the end credits. We want to answer your questions and address your topics.
If you have a question you want answered or a topic you'd like us to look into, we are easy to find.
For private, one-on-one psychic sessions for your personal questions on love, health, or money, you can find your answers by calling me at 510-387-3328. Or you can find me at my website, questtarot.com, or email me at joseph@questtarot.com.
For one-on-one intuitive counseling sessions for your personal questions about relationships, career, or life purpose, you can call me at 916-952-7212 or find me at my website, AngelaLynneGibson.com, or email me at angela@angelalynnegibson.com.
And you can follow us on Facebook, Vimeo, and YouTube. Simply search Joseph Ernest Martin, Angela Lynne Gibson, or Paranormal Insights.
And be sure to watch our series, The Magic Minute, exclusively on YouTube, where you'll find easy-to-use magical techniques to improve your life, because it only takes a moment to make magic. And when you watch, remember to click like or subscribe after viewing the video,
Please send us your questions and topics
so we can share our paranormal insights.
and answers from beyond the ordinary.